Good evening, ladies and gits. Sonnen here with another Gitcast here coming to you from, well, the gits who normally are sending these things, aka pretty much only myself. Tonight we'll be looking at a right proper fight here with Ork Mirror, the Kommando knob versus a Warboss. As a Kommando knob player myself, I'm looking very much forward to this one, as Mirrors always give me trouble, especially against the Warboss. So let's not be wasting any more time and bring you guys up to speed. There we are. And we'll be off in a moment. Our players on this fine day in the green jungle are Tex playing as the Kommando knob and Holyhammer playing as the Warboss. Pretty much two of the finest Ork players around, so I'm sure this will be an excellent match. Already looks like Tex is gonna be very aggressive. He's sending in his Kommando knob instead of capping his early requisition points. Looks like he's gonna be trying to get some early harassment in right off the bat. Meanwhile, that Holyhammer has also skipped his first requisition points, but it looks like he's decided to use the Warboss in order to cap an early victory point and gain a lead that way. The Kommando knob has already reached these sluggers who are finishing the cap in this point no problem, and now the Kommando knob is gonna have to get out of there. He does manage to keep out of charge reach though, and it looks like he might be able to restealth. Yeah, he manages to restealth before they get in charge range. Once they actually get in there, he pretty much has to use his stun bomb or he'll have to retreat. But he does manage to get off a model kill right there. 2 model kills. Meanwhile, we have the first engagement over here. The shooters are going to be running into this building. These slugs aren't going to get anything done. Warboss goes for these shooters. Meanwhile, the Kommando knob is still being right sneaky, trying to get a few model kills more off these sluggers, I wager. There's the attack. Another one goes down, and at this point Holyhammer is pulling them back just as the same as Tech is pulling back the shooter squad. Pretty standard build from the two Orks so far, with the standard slugger and 2 shooters. Pretty much both sides need some decent firepower in order to take down the opposing commander, so there's no real surprises there just yet. Both players are very spread out though, having both fighting haven't gone on in both sides, and Tex is ahead with the power generator. And we do have the reason there. Looks like Tex is building another slugger squad. Quite surprising actually, seeing how a lot of players won't be using melee very heavily against a Warboss player, since his globals can pretty much ensure that his units will be winning in a melee versus melee combat. It'll be very interesting to see if how Tex is going to be using this extra squad. This is one of the bigger maps, so it's very likely he intends to use them for improved crowd control. These sluggers are not going to be able to get in combo against this kind of firepower. Holyhammer just finished building both his big shooters, and Tex is still waiting for that. Doesn't look like any of the bosses have any war gear yet though. Meanwhile, these sluggers aren't gonna get anything done against these shooters anytime soon, even though they don't have the big shooters out yet. Looks like Tex is using his Kommando knob to tie up these big shooters here, so they're not gonna get stuff done. There's the big shooters on Tex shooters as well. Those guys are running right out of there for good reasons. Tex is gonna be doing a bit of harassment on these guys as well. And Holyhammer's there with a Love the Dagger in order to prevent damage on the Warboss as much as possible, while he tries to get in there and get some model kills, though he is being controlled pretty hard as well. Stomp only hits 1 Ork, not so bad, and pretty much get out of there without any losses taken. So far, map control is pretty much it's going to be in Tech's favor soon, but Holyhammer has managed to hold the victory points quite well, and he is ahead by 60 victory points at this stage. Tex tries to get off a bit of a gen bash. Looks like he's not using a grenade. I don't think he has the energy to actually use a grenade, and he gets out of there with one of the shooter squads. Definitely in big trouble. He's gonna have to get out of there with his Kommando knob. It could go down if he's not lucky enough, but oh, it looks like he's gonna be making it out. Very close call though there. Oh, looks like Tech's not having any of that. He's cloaking his sluggers, and let's see if what he's gonna be doing with those. He's got this other slugger squad capping over here. Looks like those storm boys are gonna hop right in. Meanwhile, he's looks like he's pulling back, and he's sending in this cloak slugger soon. And just in time, it looks like the shooter knob just came out detecting those guys. Holyhammer is gonna be holding these sluggers back. Meanwhile, these sluggers here are taking a lot of damage, but they hide inside a building in order to avoid these storm boys. Well, they're pretty close in storm boys in regards to normal combat efficiency, as the Warboss can pretty much ensure that they would easily win if Tex ends up committing to the fight. Look like these sluggers are getting in a bit too close for comfort, though. They're gonna have to get out of there when the turrets start firing. Tex did give up on these guys, though, so they should be out of trouble. But this could get dangerous, since Tex does have his storm boys and his Warboss down here in the retreat path. This could get real dangerous here. One model goes down, there's the storm. More models go down. But it looks like two models are gonna make it. Now the storm boys are jumping in for the shooter blob here. This could get ugly as well. There's a Lobster Dagger to get a bit of briefing, and a stun bomb. Oh, that is just perfect. Using Lobster Dagger, he manages to slow them down just enough. Normally it's not very effective in melee range, but with that stun bomb landing like that, it was pretty much perfect. Very well played there by Texanus. Well, these sluggers are gonna be in trouble, and they are getting out of there before any model losses are taken. Looks like these sluggers are a bit inactive at the moment, though. Still no particular war gear for either player. Only Holyhammer has the big shooter knobs on his shooter squads. He's gonna have quite the advantage in firepower for now. However, Tex is quite a bit ahead in tagging at the moment, so he could be getting out something very worthwhile in order to use his tech advantage. Oh, those sluggers are gonna have to get out of there real fast. Take a lot of damage just from a few seconds of focus fire. A fully upgraded shooter squad is very, very devastating, especially against squishies like sluggers. What's interesting to note, though, is while Orkz are known to be pretty damn good at early power bashing, neither player has really managed to get any decent bashing going on. Tex did have a decent attempt at one point, but he was forced back, however, and I don't believe he lost any generators. Looks like Texanus is in a bit of retreat now. He does have a shooter knob out of his shooter boys here, and he's getting out a weird boy. Pretty much good for any matchup, but they're particularly good against Orkz, I believe, since that wolf one is pretty much gonna... And there we have one of the most annoying bugs I know of. Using the cloak on a unit with a knob coming out means the knob isn't gonna get cloaked as well if he comes out after the ability is activated. Holyhammer easily spots it, and those sluggers are gonna have to get out of there before they take any unnecessary losses. Quite a shame that, but we do have the weird boy coming out now. Interesting to see what Texanus is gonna be doing with this. Proves his work right away by forcing off these storm boys without any particular fight. For now it looks even. Holyhammer is gonna have a bit of trouble with this weird boy. His storm boys are gonna be able to do well enough if they can get the jump on him without with warp one on a cooldown. But for now, that weird boy is gonna give them a huge advantage in a straight up firefight. And it looks like we do have such a firefight going on here. Holyhammer squads weren't quite together in the beginning, so he manages to get a bit of a head start with the shooting, and the weird boy, of course, is going to be helping out as well. And it looks like Holyhammer's either fingered the same thing or did this in the spawn, as he's also got out this... and those Star Boys are coming in. They're using Art Boys right away to ensure they're not going to be chopped down by the sluggers. Those sluggers are not going to win that fight. They have to get out of there before things get too dicey. Even with the shooter support, they are not taking enough damage. There's a special attack hitting these sluggers on retreat, and they are very low on health. 66 hit points, despite having 3 models left. That could have gotten real ugly for Texanus. Well, these sluggers are quite a bit out of position, and they're gonna get out of there as well before they take any serious losses. Might lose one on retreat, but nothing too serious. Meanwhile, Tex has gotten a shotgun upgrade, which lowers his range damage by quite a bit, but does give him an excellent ability. It's gonna get kind of tricky to get a good shot off with these detector shooters running around, but it could definitely work if he manages to either catch someone else off guard, or he can approach the shooters while they're engaged with something else. It's a very powerful ability regardless, so it'll be interesting to see how he manages to use it. Look like he is banking on these shooters, having to get close to him to round this corner. But now pretty much the entire army is here. That commando knob is pretty much locked in at this point. Throws a stun grenade, it doesn't hit anyone though. I don't think he's gonna be staying there much longer. Maybe he'll be... Yeah, there's the shot. Does get off a single model. Oh, 2 model kills before he ends up running out. These Stormboys again try to jump the Weird Boy, but the shooters are in position and they do manage to kill off a Stormboy before running off without having done any real damage to the Weird Boy. Meanwhile, Holyhammer is now getting a Death Threat out. This could definitely be a lot of trouble for Tex. The Commando knob doesn't have any tier 2 war gear useful for taking out vehicles. So the question is if he's gonna have to spend requisition with an army that's already pretty big with all these knobs in it on a tank busters or something like that, or if he's gonna be trying to reach tier 3 and get a counter for that. We'll see his reaction once the oh! I do believe I missed that. Looks like he cloaked his slugger boys there and managed to snipe out the Weird Boy who was capping the middle. That was a big loss for Holyhammer there. And Tex is definitely gonna have a real advantage with him being the only one having a Weird Boy out, and Holyhammer is quite a bit off from actually getting a new one with position wise. Looks like he's gonna be doing a light power bash, but he's not gonna get anything done with this Death Threat out. It doesn't have the burners out, and it's not really guaranteed that he will be getting it out. It's gonna be pretty good for forcing off Texanus in the beginning, but the Flamer is very expensive, and he'll probably only be getting it if he's gonna be trying for a serious power bash. We do have the Weird Boy here, is gonna be trying to do some damage to it. The Death Threat with our Weird Boy is very squished. This Weird Boy is in big trouble actually. I think it's... oh, yo dear, it does go down as well. Took a lot of damage from these shooters before the Storm Boys jumped in and finished the job. Looks like both players are pretty equal at this point, although with this Death Threat, Holyhammer is gonna have quite the advantage, and he's regaining map control, the map control that he lost for a bit. Tex is using this second Slugger squad quite well, controlling the particularly the left side of the map, and it looks like Holyhammer is going to go in for the power bash. He doesn't have the flamers on the Death Threat, which would make it much faster, but it's still gonna be able to done these things. Meanwhile, these shooters are gonna have a hard time getting at the opposing shooters while this Death Threat is hanging out. There's a special attack. Doesn't catch as many as it could, but this big shotgun blast is gonna be forcing these guys out, no problem. It looks like they spend a little too much time on fighting the Death Threat. They do get a model kill off, but perhaps if they'd ignored the Death Threat entirely, they might have been able to get off another kill, or perhaps even a wipe. The Death Threat has taken a fair bit of damage, but oh, looks like Tex has gotten the rocket launch on the Commando knob. That seems to be his answer for it. Looks like, I don't know if Tex has seen it, and he's charging right in there with recklessness, but looks like Holyhammer is... yes, he does manage to get inside the building. He doesn't have flamers, he's gonna have to get out of there. That is quite the advantage for the upper team actually. The lower team doesn't have any buildings to run into if your opponent tries to use recklessness to blow through the suppression. But that particular quirk of this map just saved Holyhammer from possibly 2 shooter squad wipes, which would have been completely devastating, possibly even ending the game right there. Meanwhile, Tex did manage to destroy the Death Threat with his rocket launcher, and he's quite a bit ahead in regards to being in tier 3 for a while longer. Looks like he's getting forced off again though. Well, the shotgun is great. It's not going to be able to force down a squad like this on its own. As soon as the shotgun blast is done, the Commando knob isn't going to be able to get much done. No war gear left on the Warboss, so these shooters are pretty much outnumbered and outgunned. They're gonna get out of there while the Storm Boys cap the middle once again. Meanwhile, they do have both slugger squads flanking over to the right side, perhaps looking to recap some of the victory points, or perhaps they're going to be attacking the shooter squad now that the Storm Boys are going to be capping in the middle for a while. Here they come. Looks like they're going to be committing to this charge with the slugger knob. They are going to be a bit faster than the shooters, although he decides not to engage in this battle. Oh, looks like that was the rocket ability from the Kommando knob right there. He fires it off and immediately he starts switching over to the shotgun. Very nice to see. Since the rocket launcher ability does do decent damage against the infantry, it means he pretty much got two special ability shots to use one after another if he's got the energy for it. He doesn't have extra equipment out, maybe he's not even getting it, but that can definitely... the Kommando knob is pretty much defined by his abilities as soon as he buys any weapons, since pretty much all of them lowers his DPS against the regular units. So being able to switch weapons like that and use abilities as you see fit can be very, very useful, although a bit tricky to micromanage. Interesting to see if he gets anything really powerful done about that. Meanwhile, while I was talking, I didn't even notice that he somehow managed to get his knobs right on up here, and they are doing a decent job at power bashing at this point. Which might delay any upgrades on the knobs that Holyhammer just got out himself. At Warboss is not gonna be able to stand up to these knobs who just finished getting their meaner and greener upgrade. Now the other knobs are coming along, and I don't think Tex is not gonna be able to win this with this shooter fire support. And he wisely decides to retreat out there. Question is if he's gonna have any model losses or not. It looks like he's gonna be making it out alright. Neither player has decided to go for the burners on their sluggers, which does increase hit points by a bit, but in particular Holyhammer hasn't really been using his sluggers all that much for fighting. They don't even have a knob out yet. They're pretty much being his back cabin unit, with his Storm Boys and shooters being the primary force, along with these knobs here. Tex is loading quite a bit of requisition at this point. He could be getting out another knob squad or a looted tank, which would be very useful against these knobs in particular. He might, however, be aiming for a battle wagon, which tends to do very, very well against looks like these sluggers are going to be going for a power bash while this firefight down here is going on. Those shooters are not going to be able to win though, although this one is nicely in cover and they're going to be able to hold the line until the Storm Boys jump down on them. Yeah, these sluggers have managed to kill the power node here, and they're gonna try and sneak on out of there. They're going for a boss kill, but now the entire force is coming up along with them, using recklessness to reduce range damage, and they're probably gonna be trying to reach this path and retreat in order to avoid charging straight through the knobs. Definitely not something you want to do if you can avoid it. Looks like Holyhammer is now investing in a looted tank as well, which could be trouble for Tex now, but it's quite a risky affair. He knows that Tex has already bought the rocket launcher once, so Tex can switch over to use that one for free. And if Holyhammer isn't very, very careful about keeping his shooters close, that tank might go down in a flash. He's gonna have to be very careful with it, but it definitely would mean that Holyhammer would have an advantage in regards to firepower. Well, these Storm Boys finished capping off this side, and these shooters are not going to be able to do anything except maybe decap before they're going to be forced off by the big Orks that are coming their way now. We have a bit of storm there, and it does manage to stop the decap from happening. Very fortunate special attacks there. These Storm Boys are having none of that. They're just going to jump and they're going to get out there. The jump rate isn't that great since they don't have the upgrade yet. It's not like they're gonna win. Here comes the tank, and it's gonna lay down a decent amount of fire on these knobs, who are popping their frenzy ability in order to tank some damage. It does look like Tex is actually getting boom time. That's very unusual, as well as the battle wagon. Boom time is pretty much one of the most underused war gears in the game. The slugger squad is chasing off the shooter squad. But what boom time does is whenever the Kommando knob retreats, he drops a sort of explosive that knocks back everyone around him and stuns them for a moment, pretty much ensuring that he manages to get away if he's in melee with anyone when he retreats. Pretty much no one uses it over extra equipment, so I'm quite surprised to see Tex use it at this stage. Perhaps he has a certain plan for it. There's the rocket ability. Looks like no, it does a decent amount of damage against heavy infantry in particular. Yeah, there's the knockback. Stuns for a moment, although it's quite unusual. It looks like its stun effects appears over the knobs, but they can still move around normally. This looter tank has found these sluggers here. They're gonna have to get out there before it starts firing its main cannon too many times. We have the battle wagon out now, and if I'm not mistaken, he's put his both his shooter squads in there in order to activate the shooters on the main cannon. Looks like this looter tank is gonna be blowing up. Takes a power bomb at this point. The knobs are coming in, but there's the death roller, and those knobs are not gonna be able to break through that. They're gonna keep on getting knocked back if they try it, and instead they wisely decide to get on out of there while Tex gets off a few kills using the death roller. There's that ability knockback again from Boomtown, and it does look like it could possibly have saved the Kommando knob's life. He didn't manage to get any shots off on the battle wagon though, which is still at full health. Although this battle wagon does have so many hit points, and even though its damage per shot on the tank might not quite be as much, it's easily gonna be able to outlast and destroy the looter tank if it catches up. With the two shooters inside, it's gonna have a decent speed. This Zomba squad jumps up, but that turns out to be a mistake as the knobs right here are ready for him. Well, these sluggers are gonna be using art boys to chase these guys off. Even with a knob, these guys are not gonna be able to win against a vanilla slugger squad. Well, these knobs have gotten hammers out. Looks like Holyhammers doesn't have hammers out, ironically. Neither of them have any knobs in their... well, Tex could afford it population-wise, but Holyhammer is completely maxed out population-wise at 98. We're gonna have a bit of a fight here with the battle wagon coming in to support both sides of Frenzy, but looks like Tex is behind in regards to health with his knobs. They built up a lot of momentum at this stage, though. But they're gonna have to get on out of there. Here comes Tech's entire force, but there's the death roller again. They are not gonna... Those knobs are not gonna have a good day at this point. This looks like meanwhile the main cannon is firing at the looter tank. Sometimes it's rather difficult to control. Looks like Tex loses his one of his slugger squads there to Holyhammer's vanilla squad. Bit of a shame that it didn't look like they were actually fighting. They were trying to finish Cap at that point. At this point, both the looter tank and these knobs who are now getting out of there are taking strong damage. Oh, there's the explosion, and he's planted a booby trap there as well, although it doesn't go off, which is a bit of a shame, really. Looks like these commanders, these are gonna get out of there. This trap is gonna be devastating if Holyhammer uses Slugger Squad or the Stormboys while not at full strength. He is, however, using these sluggers now to repair this looter tank. In the meantime, he's getting out of the looter squad now. He's got the population space after losing a few Stormboy models. Sorry about that. This looter tank is this battle wagon has taken some damage from both the knobs and the looter tank at this point, and I don't think Tex can really commit to repairing to it just yet. It's gonna have to be careful at this point, since the Warboss now also has his power claw out and can start laying down the hurt as well. These shooters are focusing down the Warboss right away though, and he does go down. There's gonna be a bit of tanking going on here. Looks like both the shooters are running away. Oh, there comes the boom shot though, and it does manage to land a hit. It doesn't look like it killed anyone, but it did hurt the squad very, very badly. This battle wagon's in trouble now since he decides he's not going to be able to get out of this alive, and instead tries to crush some of these knobs, but they do pop Frenzy to avoid the damage from the death roller. The question is if it's going to be able to get any model kills off. And it's not going to be able to get away from this looter tank chasing it, and down it goes. Oh, it's a shame to see that thing go down. Poor Daisy. These knobs are getting a lot of stuff done though. It looks like Tex is now getting a looter tank of his own as well. This knob is getting away again. Once again, Boom Time helps him out. Although Hammer's gonna have to be real careful. His Stormboys are going down, and oh dear, that's gonna be a big problem for Holyhammer right there. He's also lost his shooter squad at one point. I believe that was the Knobs who did that, so he's now actually in a lot of trouble. His tank is about to pretty much explode when these Knobs catch up, and they are gonna catch up. There goes down. Meanwhile, Holyhammer's Knobs are now chasing these sluggers who are gonna be running into that building after taking some decent damage, but pretty much the entire army is gonna standing out here, and they're pretty much gonna be able to shoot them down. Looks like they are running out of there, and the Knobs are in pursuit. I don't think they're gonna be able to take them down though. These Knobs now have their leader out as well, and are now capping the middle victory point. Tex is around 130 victory points behind at this stage, but his forces does have an advantage. He does have more shooters out, he has a tank, and his Knobs are better upgraded. And there's the shotgun blast. Doesn't do any damage, but it does keep away these Knobs who have both Pop Frenzy and the Use Your Choppers ability. That's a big shame for Holyhammer. He just spent a ton of red. And there's the Rocks ability on the... He really wants to slow the tank down, but it just drives right upward, and it doesn't get hit by any of the rocks. Holyhammer just wasted a ton of red without really getting anything for it. It was a big problem for him. Looks like he's taking a lot of damage at this point. This Warboss is gonna go down right there, and looks like that is gonna be game. Yeah, I won't lie. For some reason, Orc mirrors never cease to entertain me. Not only are they fluff-wise correct, since Orcs would pretty much love fighting each other compared to the other races, but they are just for some reason very, very entertaining. Some excellent play by Texanius in particular in regards to both the early harassment and as well as using his Kommando not very efficiently. We saw a lot of weapon swaps here, and it is more than likely that Boomtime actually saved his Kommando knob from dying a few times. So very well played for both players. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.